we need to set the right targets for ourselves and purposely work towards it. This is a master class. We can help each other. We cannot continue being the same and still being that mental slavery that, look, I was born poor, living on the sands of the Caribbean, on the streets of Labadi or by the shores, and still remain poor. You know, let me tell you a story I was telling somebody just yesterday. I've said it before. I traveled to Atlanta on my private jet. I landed in Atlanta. I was just spending a day there. I wasn't actually going to sleep there. I was flying back to New Jersey. I got out of my private jet. I took out all my clothes, all my bag, everything. I was wheeling it on the tarmac. I went 50 meters and I stopped. And I asked myself, where am I going? And I turned back and I looked at my own plane. For a moment, I forgot that that plane was my plane. You know, it's poverty. It's the poverty mentality that we grow with. For me, it's deep. You know, I thought I was still flying commercial. I didn't believe in my own self that I've been able to afford at least move from my SME position to at least somewhat. So just to let you know that at times we are in a cage. We get into a cage, mental cage, that we don't know what we can do for our own self. So out of this master class, don't limit yourself. Just say to yourself that I can. You know, America have done something that the whole world should learn. America is not the greatest place on earth, but they've been able to indoctrinate everybody that America is great. America is the land of opportunity. America, if you get here, you will be okay. When you get into our borders, look, we'll protect you. But zero. Forgiveness. By something we have, if you look at it even on the American dollar, they said, in God we trust. This wasn't done just by doing it, but it was, they worked, the forefathers of the United States of America worked at it and they mastered the game.
Propaganda.
You know, somebody said propaganda. It worked out for them and it's still working.
Yes.
You understand? I have a friend of mine who got a green card, moved all his family here to America. 20 years down the line, he's still receiving a paycheck. And he always called me to say, I regret living in Africa. But America made him believe in America. Caribbean, Africa states, we can do same. We have sitting on all the natural resources in Africa. The Caribbean sitting on all the tourism, beautiful culture. When a fish is even swimming in the sea in the Caribbean, you can see it. What they have divided the Americas with the Caribbean is just water, very restricted water. So you are closer to us than you can ever think of. So let's build synergies, let's build partnership, let's believe in ourselves that we can do it. When I say unlimited possibility, I mean it, but only for those who are ready to move. Many a times when opportunity come your way, you are not ready. When opportunity hit at your door, you have to be ready. The question here in this master class, are we all ready? Are we really ready?
Yes.
The yes is a bit weak. You know, think through yourself. ask your inner question. You can never, if you're from the Caribbean, you can never leave Ghana without picking something. If you are here and you think you are here for a holiday, it's a lie. Whilst you are here, pick on something. And pick, even I saw a woman over there doing a granite paste. A beautiful granite paste, which I'm going to visit a factory next week. You know, make that granite paste seller your friend. Make him your friend. Get to the Caribbean. Carry a box of his granite paste to the Caribbean.
Yes. Yes.
And you can understand how friendship and business starts. Let me ask you, is your product ready for export into Africa? Is your product ready to export into the Caribbean? Or just good enough for your local market? I need you to ask yourself that question. Is your product ready for export? Or is ready for your local market? Can your pricing, quality, and presentation stand out in the Trinidad and Tobago, and Grenada, in Kenya, or the Barbados, all the way on the street of Labadi, where we are sitting right now? We are having this master class in one 5-star hotel in this place. Can anybody meet the hotel authority and sell something to this hotel? Make sure you sell something to this hotel. We are here, they are chopping our money, right? How can we have a product synergy to this hotel? That's a question you have to ask yourself. But that had to do with quality and pricing. There's something called formalize your offer. That's what buyers look for. Structure, clarity, and confidence. You should have your product and your offer well structured. You should have confidence in your products. That is why we are here. We cannot just be traveling around. Build for skill, not survival. You don't need to be big. You need to be scalable. Those who want to be big without looking at the scalability of what they have still as SMEs forever. Once you scale, you become big. And scalability is a process. You need to go through that process to scale. You cannot say you want to be big tomorrow when you don't have the method of scalability. It is so important that we have little things that keep us as dwarfs. We leave this master class, every day you write on your wall, I don't want to be a dwarf. Write somewhere on the table that you work on. When I was young, I have a buffalo. I was working for somebody. I still have that buffalo on my table till today. I don't know whether my workers recognize it. There's a black buffalo on my desk. When I was young, 30 years ago, I got that buffalo. And every time I have a task, right, I turn the buffalo in a way, right? And the way the buffalo is sculptured, it stands solid. But when you tilt it to one side, one leg always is up. Every time I have an unfinished task, You see the one leg of that buffalo up. Whenever I finish the task, I drop the buffalo's leg. That means every time my eye go on that buffalo, that means I'm too relaxed. But whenever the buffalo leg was up, that means there is job to do. That buffalo is on my deck still today. When you visit my office, you see that black buffalo on my deck. It has been that buffalo and been with me for 30 years. So the question here is, we must scale up. We don't have to, how do I call it, try to survive. We have to make it a purpose to survive. Why? Because you have to take ownership of your environment. How do you take ownership in your environment? You take ownership of your environment without timidity. At times, the way our cultures are structured, we become timid without knowing we are timid. We can be bold, resilient, and strong in our bones. Our mental stability as an African, as a Pan-Africanist, as somebody coming from the Caribbean calling yourself Pan-Africanist. Take timidity out of your way by being humble and respectful. Whatever you touch, you have to be humble. Be respectful. Being humble doesn't mean timidity, but it's a strength. A lot of people don't know that humility is a strength. You don't need to be big, you need to be scalable. There's a difference. Build your system that can grow without chaos. Whilst you are scaling, you are growing your business without chaos. You should have a platform. You should leverage on your platform, like being here, there is a hashtag ACBTS 2025. It's a hashtag you should have. You are here. Use this platform not just to network, but to form real deals. Partnership and pipeline deals. You have to live here with something. We are one culture, rich, powerful, and united by history. We don't have to joke with our history. Our power is our history. And we have to draw that line very clearly. I will kill for my history. I will live for my history. Right. Don't cross me and my brother. What gets us together is our history. And we are all sitting here today. The same blood. The same Kojo Kweku Mensa. The only thing they did was to change our name. They tried to change our brand, our brand, but the reason why they couldn't is our history. We have a chance to become one market, connected, collaborate, and self-reliance. And the possibilities we unlock for this is unlimited. But let me leave you with this. Possibilities only become reality when you put structure behind your ambition. Let me repeat that again. Possibilities only become a reality when you put structure behind your ambition. Let this trade show be the starting point. Let your brand be the next global success story. And if you need help along the way, strategy, visibility, logistics, or structure, that's why the Africa Continental Free Trade exists. Let's build, let's trade, Let's rise together
Yes.
because what connects us is our history. Thank you.